This is Hungary for Change. My name is Drew Leifheit, and I'm a podcast host, journalist, and voiceover artist who's lived in Hungary for over 3 decades. Here's your live read of what the heck has been going on here in Magyarország. Spread the word. Could you like and share this video? Now that it's well over 2 months since Magyar Péter and the TISA party wiped the floor with the diabolical political machine known as Fidesz, you may still be wondering, as we all are, how do Hungary and Hungarian society overcome 16 years of state capture and corruption? Last week, Prime Minister Magyar Péter unveiled what he's calling the Tisztítótűz, literally translated as purgatory or cleansing fire. It's an accountability program designed to dismantle the former system. He alleges that was made up of political and economic criminal groups who were holding Hungary hostage. Weird to say, but it did feel like Stockholm Syndrome here at times. In retrospect, and considering what I'm hearing from my Hungarian friends who are breathing a massive sigh of relief, the previous regime was choking us with one hand and grabbing us below the belt with the other. Where's my wallet? Lately, I sense less tension amongst strangers in Hungary. There's a more relaxed atmosphere in traffic, and I've even had people let me ahead of them in the queue. The other day, when someone dropped a bunch of items in a shop, a total stranger and I found ourselves scrambling to help him pick those things up. Still, the name of Magyar Péter's plan just doesn't sit right with me. Isn't purgatory being lodged somewhere between heaven and hell? The people who stole the country's future and rewrote all the rules to serve their own interests probably thought they were in heaven, but don't they now deserve the other end of the spectrum? While I don't wish anyone physical harm, I would think that setting things straight and cleaning house of the people who have been fleecing Hungarian society would require more of a raging, purging wildfire to clear out the remnants of a system that felt rotten to the core. The Prime Minister says these Tisztítótűz efforts are a battle against what he called Hungary's Cosa Nostra. For Magyar Péter, one part of the cleansing is getting rid of the old guard's ultimate puppet, Hungary's president, Súlyog Tamás. His rather colorful local nickname is Szatyorfing, which literally translates as fart in a shopping bag. That encapsulates the look, most times, on President Súlyog's face. His original appointment, given the two-thirds majority previously held by Fidesz, was a total shoo-in. Beyond being a proxy to veto legislation and throw a wrench in the gears of the new government, the man has misplaced his charisma. Súlyog was instated following the resignation of the former president Novák Katalin, who left in disgrace in the wake of the pedophile pardoning scandal. And it's an open secret. We all know that she, too, was only doing the bidding of the guy who waddles around like a penguin. But someone had to take the fall, right? A woman. Beyond squeezing out the president, which some critics in Hungary view as a stretch of the constitution, Magyar and the TISA party have created a new government agency designed to investigate the previous government's abuse of public funds and recover some of the stolen assets. It was a true mystery when the Hungarians would wise up to the fact that they were paying for the lavish styles of the political elite. Meanwhile, the basics of a good European life, healthcare, education, a decent wage, continued to drift further out of reach for the rest of Hungary. Governing became a pure propaganda exercise, and they kept trying to tell us, no, your life does not suck. In fact, you should be grateful for whatever morsels you're given. Sometimes those morsels were pretty big chunks of change. This week, Magyar Péter took aim at former President Áder János and called him a közpénz horgász, a public funds fisherman. Áder managed to pull in quite a catch, a 720 square meter villa built entirely on the taxpayer's dime, and that's in addition to the former president's two other properties on Rózsadom. A supposed eco-warrior, except in his own backyard, former President Adair seems to have maximized his estate's footprint on that green space. And we, the taxpayers, are paying his utilities, which run around $70,000 a year. He also has a personal staff, a chauffeur, and a monthly stipend of 6 million forints. My question is, why do we treat public servants like royalty when much of the population in Hungary lives under the poverty line? I mean, this is not Luxembourg. When most people couldn't stand being blatantly lied to any longer, April 12th happened. That was after 16 years of that exhaustion. Just another little anecdote before I go. During the recent heat wave here in Central Europe, I have been getting up religiously every morning at 6 a.m. to take my 2 black dogs up a hill and into the forest so they can have a proper walk before the sweltering temperatures steal away the rest of the day. On one of those mornings, I bumped into a very kind neighbor who last spring had hired me to be her executive speech coach. As we stood in the morning shade talking about what's been happening here in Hungary with the new government, she casually mentioned, "I know that you," meaning me, "are one of their supporters." My sleepy, coffeeless, addled brain barely helped me articulate a response in that moment, but her comment festered with me all day. After 16 years of one-man rule here in this country, does any hope for change mean blind allegiance? Does any hope for change mean blind allegiance to the next man in line? Well, that's not how I see it. Why should any of us be beholden to any political party? My support, or lack of it, depends on what a political party does and what it doesn't do. The biggest game changer in Hungary's political scene has simply been the TISA party's willingness to actually listen to people, their concerns, and their hopes. That's a stark contrast to an era where independent media was blackballed and politicians literally walked away in stony silence when facing actual questions. Looking out at this new Hungary, my allegiance isn't to a party or personality cult. As someone in communications who has watched this country struggle to find its footing for over 3 decades, my allegiance is simply to the return of a normal, functioning European life. Oh yeah, and I'm against those who are stealing from the rest of us or who have benefited to the detriment of the entire society. The true test of this new government won't just be how thoroughly they clean house or how many assets they're able to claw back. It will be whether they can build a country where a citizen can disagree with the prime minister without being labeled an enemy of the state. I'm Drew Leifheit, and this is Hungary for Change. Don't forget to like and share this video. Nagyon köszönöm.